Trust me, kids, clap it up, clap it up. We're gonna do this.
Everybody's happy to be back. So Mr. Rodriguez came to us at the end of the year and said, I want to meet with you guys, and we thought, what did we do now? And so we went in and sat down in his office, and he said, here's what I'm going to task you with. Here's what I'd like you to do. Are you comfortable doing that? Of course, we said, why? And he continued to explain that. He said, well, so we've achieved a certain level, which you just heard and gone over. He said, what it is now that we like to do is we'd like to understand what goes into sustaining that. Now, the academic world, you guys are outstanding at what you do. And no one's going to stand up here and tell you, but we're going to share a little bit with you about our experiences in sustaining a high level of excellence. You got some amazing, not only amazing educators, but amazing coaches behind me anyways. My name is Shane Fulton. This is my 37th year in the system. He was wrong, he said 36, and he called me Farno, but that's okay. 37 years in the system, 33 of which are here at Hialeah High. Came here when I first left the collegiate coaching ranks and was told Hialeah High is one of the greatest kept secrets in the county. People that come to Hialeah and retire from Hialeah. And I thought, there's no way. Hialeah, you know, I was a HML grad. I said, you know, we had air-conditioned Hialeah as a dilapidated old school. I can tell you that when I got here, I've never looked back. It's an incredible place to be, and what makes it an incredible place are the people that are here that reach out and help develop our students. During my 37 years, I've worn a variety of hats at Hialeah. In the academia world, I mean, I taught health and life management skills, I taught personal fitness, I taught the different, I was Mr. Supplement. As you know, 37 years ago, teachers weren't making a whole lot of money, and we're still not, but I started out coaching football. I coached football collegiately, and my wife and I were living in Ohio, and if you know anything about the Midwest and the snow belt, it's really cold. We decided we wanted to move back home to South Florida, so I took a high school job. So I worked my way down the ladder from coaching college football to high school, and I got down here and was coaching high school football. And then they said, hey, we got a supplement available in girls soccer. Are you interested? I said, I'm interested. And how much does that pay? And I don't know what it was, $800 and some at the time, but I said, I'm your guy. Not a soccer guy, but I had a guy. And then a little bit later, down the road, they said, hey, we're going from slow pitch softball to fast pitch softball. Anybody interested in coaching girls softball? I said, I'm the guy. That's another supplement, I'll take it. And I went ahead and I did girls softball for a number of years. And I was actually a football coach that coached girls softball. Later became a girls softball coach that coached football. It was something, but the one thing that was impressed upon me, or that drove me, was I wanted to be successful in whatever it was that I was doing. And how do I achieve that level of success? And I borrowed from a lot of people, and I think that's what we do as I know it's what we do as coaches. We steal. I look at Coach Johnson, and he's had success at the state level, and what is he doing that motivates his athletes to achieve the level that they're achieving? Coach Bilski, probably the most successful high school baseball coach in the state of Florida. He was an assistant coach under Lorenzo Ladaga when I started coaching girls softball, and we used to travel to clinics together, in the Daytona clinics, and I would sit in with a lot of the baseball guys and say, what are they doing, and how can I, as far as a successful program, how do I transition that to what it is that I want to do? Coach Martise coached baseball at the state level and had some of the greatest teams in Hialeah's history with the 2 state championships, and handled the pitchers, and he's actually the one that took me in my final route of coaching, which was to coach baseball. He said, hey, your son's playing, you're going to be here anyways, it'd be nice, come on, just coach with me. I just want to watch my kid play. And he says, no, come on, you're going to be there, come on. I said, okay, I'll coach with you. So I'm an assistant coach, I get to sit back, I'm just going to do whatever he says, and we do it for 1 year, and we had great success. We went to the regional final, we lost a close game in the regional final, and he said to me, hey, I'm leaving. You're leaving where? He said, I'm taking a job with the New York Yankees. And I went, well, I don't know who they're going to get to coach baseball. And Verena Cabrera came to me and said, "You're our baseball coach." And I said, "I'm not coaching baseball." She said, "Oh, yes, you are." She said, "We're going to surplus someone in your department. If you're not coaching baseball, it might be you." I went, "Hey, I'm your baseball coach." So anyhow, I took over the baseball program, and again, tried to incorporate a lot of the high level of excellence. There are so many factors that go into it, and it always amazed me, when people would stand up and say, "You have to do this and this and this and this, and you will achieve this." And I thought, you have no idea what goes on either in my classroom or with my athlete. So you can't tell me exactly what I have to do, because there are so many factors. The one thing that stands out to me as essential for success and to sustain a high level of excellence is communication. Each one of us has to be amazing communicators. We have to be able to reach our athletes, our students, and we communicate it in every facet of our life, whether it's our personal life, whether it's our professional life, whether it's our social life. We have to be good communicators. And we have to figure out the pathway or vary our technique in order to communicate to reach each one of our, in my experience, my athletes. I had to figure this out. And the way you go about doing that is you try to get to know them on a little more of a personal level. But between my assistant and my staff, and that was the other thing, I had a phenomenal staff. Carlos left me with some great guys with baseball. I had a really good young group that I tasked with individual autonomy. You say, "Hey, I'm going to let you're going to be responsible for this, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that." And each person, the one thing I did ask of each one of my coaches, and I demanded this, and I did this when I oversaw the football program, I did this when I was the baseball or the softball coach, I said, when you coach these kids, and this, to impress upon young coaches, when you coach these kids, coach them the way you would want your children coached. If it's your son or your daughter, if you approach it from that standpoint, you're going to reach these kids. Kids are real good at figuring out whether or not you care about them. And so as a coach, I wanted to make sure that my athletes knew that first and foremost, I cared about them as individuals. I wanted them to know that. And so we got to know our kids, and we would go ahead and coach them accordingly. We were hard on them. They were accountable, but we made sure that they knew that we cared about them. In your personal life, when you're communicating, just last time, and I try to do that with our teams. Now, if you know about Pat, some of the other things that I used to do quotes from, there was a book of Riley, and he had these amazing quotes. And one of the things he said, leadership is an interactive relationship you have with everybody because you've been put in a position to get a result. And I thought, interactive relationship, our ability to communicate. Again, the foundation of our success. We have to be able to be good communicators, making sure that our message is clear, that our expectations are understood, and that we have a pathway to get our teams, our students, from where we are to where we want to go. When communicating this plan of action, we go ahead and, for me, it was a daily plan, a weekly plan, a monthly plan, and then a yearly plan. Now, what I said, I took this book of quotes, and every single day prior to practice, I'd have a particular quote that was pertinent to what it was that we were going to work on. But some of the ones that I remember, one was, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And I would put that, and then we'd go out in our pre-practice, I'd talk to my athletes, and I'd say, okay, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. What does that mean? And then let the kids talk about it. So now they're invested. Am I preparing to the best of my ability? Another one, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. Trying to get them just a little mind teaser. But all those things were profound in that everything was about achieving a desired goal. And the way we sustain that is we drive it home daily. We make sure that it's understood. If we don't feel our athletes or our students are grasping what it is we're trying to convey to them, then we go ahead and we redirect. A little self-reflection. I'm not reaching this kid. Maybe I have to vary my technique here. I have to do something a little unique for that student. At Hialeah, when I took the baseball team, as you know, Hialeah baseball for years was phenomenal, top of the top. Took the baseball, there were very high expectations. Carlos left me with a really good team. We'd gone to the regional final his last year. Here I got a group of young guys, but we got a team. But we started out and we set the expectation that state championship was what we were going to achieve. Not what we wanted, what we were going to achieve. And we prepared every day for that. And then there was just something that became more known to me, and being a Hialeah guy, I knew this, but at Hialeah, the expectation was always in baseball to be a state champion. And then there was this attitude. Angel, Carlos' best friend, Angel's last name, Herrera. Angel Herrera, head coach at Killian, had phenomenal teams, but he always struggled when it came to the end. We went up, and I took a young team, played Coach Bilski's team in the tournament, and we were ranked, I think, 14th in the nation or something like that, and he was like ranked top in the nation. And we go in, and we were battling. We were up 6-2, and there was a huge crowd. Our kids could have cared less. And Angel Herrera said, I remember this being relayed to me later, he said, I wish my kids at Killian had that attitude that the Hialeah kids have. Just that there's no way they're going to be defeated, and that they don't care who it is that they're going up against. And that's an attitude that was created. Rich started creating it back in the day. Carlos took it over and continued to create that. I tried to go ahead and nurture that, because if you can create an attitude with your teams that you are going to be the best. You know, Coach had an amazing volleyball season this past year. If you can create that attitude that you are going to be the best, then you will see in the end, your kids will actually be the best. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Coach Bilski again, the most successful state baseball coach.
But what an outstanding job Coach Fulton has done to introduce to you and to just present to you our ideas about the winning mindset. Okay. Before I start, I want to tell you about a dream I had last week. The only guys I told about was these guys right here. When Mr. Rodriguez asked us to do this, and, you know, your mind starts thinking about it. So I have a dream. It comes to me in a dream. Coach Fulton is driving into Hialeah High by the softball field in the annex in a brand new white Escalade XL. He's driving in, and he's got Mr. Santoyo in a shotgun seat, along with other dignitaries. And on the side of this Escalade, it said in red and blue letters, "Join the Stampede." It came to me in a dream, "Join the Stampede." It said Hialeah T-breds on the tail end of this Escalade. And I was like, that is fantastic. I'm going to use that. Okay, I'm going to use that because now, not only are we some thoroughbreds running here and there, different directions, now we've achieved some success, and we are all running together, and we are a stampede. And that's how I'm approaching this year, okay? So, how did I get my teams to buy in to my philosophies and of what I thought was winning culture and how we were going to get things done? First of all, if there's one person who knows how to get team to buy in, it's Mr. Rodriguez. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm all in. I am all in. This man says he has been here for 8 months, and it's been the best 8 months of his professional career, and I believe that to be true. And I told him when he arrived, I looked him dead straight in the eye, and I said, listen, Hialeah is a special place. It's a special place. And before long, I promise you, and I know it's come true now, you're gonna bleed blue by the time it's over. When you meet our faculty, the people here, it's a special place. Now, I'm even gonna give success that I've had in Broward County coaching, I always referenced Hialeah. When I talked about winning, I talked about being successful, I said, we are going to bring a little Hialeah to Broward County. That toughness that Coach Fulton referenced, and we did. And this is how you get your students to buy in. The biggest thing I think to get people to buy in is share yourself. Share your passion, whether it's teaching, whether it's outside things, whatever your interest is, they will feel your sincerity. They will. And so I'm going to share a little bit with you. I have an addiction. And I would tell my teams this. I have an addiction. And I'm going to share it with you right now. My addiction is winning.
Yes.
Okay? I like to win. Now, it's not what you think. It's not about winning state championships. It's nothing about winning games, although that is wonderful because we all know the agony of defeat. Okay? It's about winning every day. It's just about winning every day in everything you do. And when you stack those wins, one day on top of another day, on top of another day, come state championship time, come test time, whatever it is, you will win. You will win. So, to get my teams to buy in, I would say, number one, if you like winning, you're in the right place. If you like success, if you like working hard, if you like that thrill, you are in the right place. And I'm going to ask you to share in my addiction. I want to win every day. Every day. After I say my prayers at night, I go back and I review my day. Did I win today? Did I win today? Did I get the things done I needed to get done? I'll tell you right now, the players that have played for me, that's our thing, winning. And it doesn't mean, like I said, the state championships. I got up early this morning. Got up at 5:30. Went to the gym. I worked out. I just wanted to have that winning mindset right away and all day long. Okay? And to this day, I'll get text, and I just know what it means from players that played for me. And it's just one word, winning. Like they are winning today. Okay? So, my addiction is winning. My fault, and I share this with them too, is that I'm very competitive. I'm competitive at everything. Things I shouldn't be. Like, I can't play mini golf with my family. I can't. I can't. If we're not keeping score, I'm not having fun. I like to keep score. I like to win. And usually by the time we're done mini golfing, you know, people are not liking me. I'm in a mode I shouldn't be in. I have a switch and, you know, I switch it on and switch it off. And sometimes it's better to switch it off. But I put it out there from the beginning, okay, whoever wants to win, you want to be on my team. Okay, that's it. So I would ask that you join me in my addiction for winning. In the classroom, in your lives. At the end of my life, I just want to be known as someone who tried to win every day. And that Coach Bilski is not here anymore, but you know what? That guy lived himself to death. Okay? He went out and he made it happen, and he was blessed by a lot of blessed by a lot of good assistants. Okay? In fact, I was an assistant coach to Coach Fulton, which he forgot to leave out, and Coach was the head JV football coach. I was his assistant. Okay, so we've had a camaraderie here at Hialeah. I'm so proud to be part of the Hialeah, and this is how I got my teams to buy in. And Mr. Rodriguez has already done such a fine job of that. Coach Johnson is going to come up next and give us some pointers on how we do that and how to get your leaders on board and those glue guys. And I wish everybody a successful year. We've had some success. Let's build upon it. We are going to win, and I would hope You're going to ask your students and faculty here, join the Stampede. Let's ride T-bred pride.
Oh yeah! When we got together, when the principal brought us together, when Principal Rodriguez brought together, we immediately put our heads together and we came up with some characteristics we thought were inherent in winning coaches. Not everybody wins the same, but those inherent characteristics in all winning coaches. Now, last week, Principal Rodriguez hit us up in the group chat, like, are you guys ready? You got that PowerPoint ready? And then our side group chat went crazy. We had the Homer Simpson meme, like PowerPoint, like, yeah, good luck with the PowerPoint. So, but to honor that, we're gonna visualize. So we got a PowerPoint, and on that PowerPoint is gonna say characteristics of a winning organization. First slide in that PowerPoint was communication. Second slide in that PowerPoint was creating buy-in. Third slide in that PowerPoint is identifying glue guys. That is my superpower. I am a people person. I am empathetic and sympathetic of other people's needs. That is my superpower. But before I continue, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. I know half of you are wondering why I'm not dressed like the rest of the team. God's honest truth, I'm not making this up. I got dressed this morning, got ready for work, kissed my wife on the cheek, and she said, what do you have on? Your pants are too tight, you dress like a whore. True story. So I checked myself, I didn't agree, but I saw her face, she wasn't kidding, so I changed.
There you go.
There you go. So characteristics of a glue guy, being right is overrated a lot of the times. Completely overrated. All right, if you're not a glue guy, I mean, it's not your superpower, then if you want a winning organization or championship organization, you have to identify your glue guys. So what is the characteristics of some glue guys? First of all, again, they're not really concerned with being right all the time. You know what I mean? Like, some people got ideas, some people want to be first, some people want to run out there, and as glue people, our job is just kind of, bringing that's a great idea. Come on, don't go so fast. Let's go together. Insert cliche. If you want to go somewhere fast, you go alone. If you want to go somewhere far, you go together. So that's a characteristic of a glue guy. Another characteristic of a glue guy is we don't do a whole lot of complaining. I don't spend a lot of time worrying about what I don't have. I spend a lot of time figuring out how I can use what I do have. In any situation, I let it roll off me. I try not to be so stressed. I try to, disarm situations with a joke, try to find the humor in things, because if you just get bogged down completely in what you don't have and the stress of not being adequate or that feeling not being adequate, then you're not going to get anywhere. That feeling is going to stagnate you, and there are some people that think that way. That's why you need your glue guys to, hey, give them a little nudge, be a little positive or whatever like that. In a championship organization, in my championship organizations, I never, ever, ever I never not acknowledged people for who they were. Never. I knew who my slackers were. I knew who my complainers were. I knew who my leaders were. I knew who my go-getters were. And my job was try to get that all together and see how we can make those things work. At Hialeah High School, I had a bunch of success in a sport that is not conducive for our demographic, gender-wise, ethnicity-wise, participation-wise, and we would go up against some of the big dogs in the state, in the county, and they always act the same, like Bielski and Fulton said, they always want to know, like, why my little team competed at such a great level with everybody else in the quote-unquote big dogs. And my secret was, and I told them, and they didn't understand, you can only understand this if you're at Hialeah or if you do what we do. I never stepped on a court, I never stepped on the playing field with a team. You brought your team, I brought my family. And that's how we always did it, that's how we always approached it, because each one of us mattered, and when we step on the court, or we step on the field, we step in the classroom, or here now, everything that I've ever done wasn't for me, it was always for us. That's always been my goal. And again, in order to do those things and be successful in those things, I had to find a way to communicate with the people around me. And I created that buy-in with my crew because they understood, like Bilski said earlier, it comes from here. It comes from here, and not everybody has that ability to express that. And that's another thing about a glue guy. They know what they're good at, and they know what they're bad at, and they're not ashamed of either. So the things that I'm not good at, I'm gonna find somebody. The things that I am good at, I'm gonna step up on those things. And if I am egoless enough to step aside and not go first, Coach Fulton, it wasn't because he's the oldest. That's just what it is. But it's because we all know that there are not many orators better than Coach Fulton. So it's not about me taking the limelight or me taking the credit. It's about, hey, let's put something together that can benefit all of us, get the head guy's objective in line, and give you something entertaining and hopefully useful to take into your area. And the thing is, we don't pretend that you don't know what it takes to be a winner. That's not our goal, to teach everybody what it takes to win. Our goal is to reassure you, those of you who do know that you're on the right track, those of you who have won but just can't figure out how I did this, how to sustain those things, we're here to say, hey, not sure if you're aware, but this is why you've been winning. And if you want to continue those things, here are some of the steps that you can take to continue winning, because anybody can win once. Anybody can luck up into one victory, but champions win consistently.
I had a really tough job, right, as a baseball coach here. I had to follow Coach Bilski's back-to-back state championships, right? That's not easy. Hialeah had only won one state title. Since I'm the history guy, I'll give you a quick history lesson. Hialeah had only won one state title, had only been to state once in 1969. That's it. All the great Hialeah High teams, Bucky Dan, Charlie Huff, right? And Hialeah only been to state once. So my first year here was 99. We lost the game to go to state. And I was like, wow, I just came into a great program. First year, we're about to make history. We lost the game to go to state, and that was rough. That was rough on him, right? And he had to really sit down and be like, okay, what do we have to do to take the next step, right? And we made some coaching changes, right? And the rest was history after that. We went and we won 2 state titles. But now, when you look at Hialeah kids, I can only talk about the baseball world and obviously our classrooms. Hialeah kids are built different. Okay, we're just built different. And I'm in the professional baseball world, and you look at the kids that are in the big leagues from Miami, and Hialeah has almost all of them. Alvaro Mora, Manny Machado, Yasmani Grandal, Nestor Cortez, Gio Gonzalez, all these guys are Hialeah kids, right? And to me, it's just, we have a little dog in us, right? And I think to be successful in sports, you have to have some dog in you. You can't have 20 choir boys. That's not gonna work. Right? You need to have some dogs, and we had those. The hardest thing is when you're a young coach to follow a great coach and think, I gotta do it like him, right? And it took me a minute to figure out we're all different, right? We all teach different. We all have something different. I'm a very passionate guy, right? And if you teach around my classroom, you hear me all the time, right? I'm not yelling at anybody. I'm just excited about what I'm saying, right? That's my excuse. Look, I'm just passionate. I'm not yelling at you, right? And I had to see, I wasn't Rich Bilski. I couldn't coach his way. See how calm he is? And just, he's a calming figure. That's not me. I'm the fiery one, right? And that's what made us such a great team, is that we were all different. And you have to embrace. So if you're in a department and you have a teacher that's very successful, don't sit there and be like, well, I got to teach like them. Find you. Right? We're all different. Find who you are and just do your best with that. Got some slack over there from Murphy and Reggie earlier. So again, I want to give you guys a history lesson. I'm very blessed, right? I was a part of the most successful 11 years in Hialeah baseball. I was part of it, right? Hialeah has gone to state 6 times. I was there 4. Right? He was there 2. Shane was there 1. What was the name of the coach that passed away? Frady was there once. Right? So, very blessed. Right? I just fell into this job. It wasn't like, I went to Pace. I hated Hialeah. The only thing that was good about Hialeah was my wife that came from here. All right? So, I didn't want Hialeah high. But I coached Ozzie Herrera, if you guys remember Ozzie Herrera, in the summer, and he took my resume and brought it to the school. I met with Miss Roberts. Long story short, I got hired. I didn't get hired as a baseball coach. I met Coach Bilski at lunch with Coach Fulton, and Fulton was saying how he was leaving. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? And then I got asked to be the softball coach, which I quickly passed on. 22 years old, about to get married with that crew you had? No way I was not gonna do that. I was not gonna do that. But it's very difficult to want to box yourself up and be a certain coach. We're all different. All of us are different, right? And he gave me the keys to the Lamborghini, and my thing was, I just want to maybe change the tires, maybe put new rims on it, maybe something else inside, but I'm not messing with the Lamborghini, right? And Coach got the Lamborghini, he did the same thing. Somewhere along the line, the Lamborghini turned into a Chevette, but we need to change that. We need to change that. But when it comes to mindsets, I remember one of Bilski's superpowers were, like Coach said, we steal stuff. Rich was great at convincing people to do stuff that they weren't able to do, right? And I ran with that, right? Because how do I grab kids that never won a state championship, that were never in the pile, and convince them that they're gonna pile up, right? You have to convince people that have never been successful that they're going to succeed. And it has to be repetition every day. You have to drill them every day what you expect of them and what they're gonna do. You have to tell them. I used to say, the road to state comes through 49th Street. And I would tell my kids every practice, the road to state comes through 49th Street. You wanna go to state in baseball? You gotta see us. You gotta come through us, right? And it was just a mindset and the passion of the program. I mean, these kids lived for Hialeah baseball, but it wasn't like they were born into Hialeah baseball, right? Like if you're a Dolphin fans, unfortunately, like all of us, we were born into that, right? Like if your dad or somebody in your family's a Dolphin fan, you're a Dolphin fan, right? So poor kids of mine, they're Dolphin fans. And they became Dolphin fans because dad was a Dolphin fan. But these kids come into high school and you have to brainwash them into how important and how great this program is. And I think we did a great job with that. We had kids do things that they didn't think they could do. We had kids win championships. We had kids pile up. If you don't know what that is, that's when you win a championship and everybody piles up on the mound. Most teams in Dade County pile up if they win a district championship. Okay? I remember my first year as a head coach, I'm telling the new guys, and the district championship game, I'm like, hey, we're not piling up. They're like, what? District championship? We don't pile up for districts in Hialeah. We only pile up twice, to go to state and in state. And I remember we won that first district title and everybody's shaking hands. And I remember that coach after the game telling me, that's the most intimidating thing I've ever seen. I'm like, why? He goes, because your kids looked, that was just another game. My kids would have gone crazy, throwing water bottles, drunk me with the Gatorade, because that would have been a big deal to win districts. He goes, but to see you guys just win a district title and be like, just another day for us, because the goal was to win a state championship, right? So our goal as a faculty is to be an A. We're right there. We're all different. We all teach different things. It's just a little bit, it's just a little push. But be us. We're Hialeah, we're different. We're built different, we're just different. If we try to be somebody else, you guys ever seen Cool Runnings? Right? The Jamaican bobsled team wanted to be like everybody else. That didn't work. You gotta be like Jamaica. You gotta be yourself. We gotta be Hialeah. We gotta do it our way. If we try to do it somebody else's way, we won't succeed. We gotta do it our way, because we're T-breds. Thank you.
Another round of applause. You guys couldn't do a PowerPoint? Really? Fulton, I sent you a PowerPoint, man. I gave it to you. You couldn't open it, okay. No, but you know what? I'm glad you did it this way, because you spoke from the heart. You spoke from your souls, and it's evident, and I can still that just fills me with passion to see people that are just as passionate as I am. I get goosebumps. I tell you, I get goosebumps. I feel the vibe. I feel the energy. We're built different. Damn right. That's right. We are different. Coach Fulton, communication. Communicate your point with your kids. Have those open lines, and not only kids, with your colleagues. With your colleagues, because every department here plays a pivotal role. If you are not handling your business, you're letting everybody else down. And when you got somebody across the hall who's burning it up, who's tearing it up, and you're sitting back and you're cruising, you're doing them a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your kids a disservice. Okay? So do not be that weak link. Do not be that one. Expectations. Bilski. That's right. Raise the bar. 1 point. I'm gonna keep saying that. And you're gonna see me, and if I see you slipping, I'm just gonna hold my finger up like this. 1 point. Team dynamics. Coach Johnson. In your departments, be that person who keeps everybody together. Be that person who brings his ideas. Be that person who says, yeah, maybe it's not what I want to do, but for the good of the team, we're going to do it. And I'm going to buy in, and I'm going to have a great attitude because it benefits us all. And then, Coach Marti, be authentic. Be your real self. Don't fake it. They will see right through. You will be a phony and a fake. Be who you are. If you're having a bad moment, hey guys, I'm not feeling 100% today, but we're gonna get through this. Let them know it's okay. Show some weakness. Show humanity. We're not machines. You're not gonna have 180 great school days. It's not gonna happen. Okay? If you're happy, let them know. Let them know why you're happy. If you're not feeling 100%, you know what, guys? Last night I didn't sleep well, but you know what? We got work to do, and I'm going to put that aside because you deserve the best of me. Okay, guys? Again, so we are all in this together.